Reverb Experiment episode number 63. 63. I think it's 63. So this is our Friday. This is y'all's Monday / Wednesday, or whenever y'all listening to the pod. Mm-hmm. We want to thank everybody that's listening.
Yes.
We want to thank all the new supporters, all the new subscribers, everybody that's hopped on board.
Yeah, especially YouTube. Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to YouTube. We almost at 500. Mm-hmm. The bandwagon still got room.
Yes. Get on while you can.
We still taking donations.
Donations. Gifts.
And the link is in the bio. If you cannot give any money, please like, subscribe, follow.
Share all that good stuff.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. All that stuff is in the handles. All that stuff is in the books. I am one of your gracious hosts, G_Focus. I'm here with the lovely Stef.net, who is in the building. And we are the Reverb Experiment Podcast. We got a good podcast for y'all today. We are going to talk about Drake.
Man, the new album is out.
The new album is drought. What's it called? For My Dogs?
For all the dogs.
For all the dogs.
And it sure is.
I don't know if it's for all the dogs, but we're going to talk about that, so stay tuned. We're going to talk about that towards the end of the show. So in order for y'all to get our review or what we think about Drake and all the controversy that's surrounding, you're going to have to listen to the end of the show. We are going to talk about Brittany Renner and her body count. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about Terrell Owens and Ocho Cinco's conversation about their preferences in women. And
don't even get. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it.
And we're also going to talk about
relationship advice.
Relationship advice, and it's about boundaries with your friends.
Male friends.
Well, it can go for girlfriends.
It could go either way.
It can go either way.
Friends of the opposite sex. There you go.
So if you want to listen to a very juicy relationship advice, please listen to the end of it as well. Be towards the end of the show. But so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. We ain't gonna beat around the bush. You know how we get down,
man.
So Miss Brittany Renner was on Club Shay Shay. Mm-hmm. Talking to
that's becoming one of my. I like that one. That's a good pod.
He's transitioning from sports. At first I was like, why is she on there? But it was actually a good pod. Mm-hmm. And I really liked the pod with him and Marshawn.
Yeah.
That was good. So
I'm like, okay.
I like him switching it up. I like that he went on his own and he's not under Skip no more.
But I also like too, it is off topic, but I also like Unc and Ocho. They had a little thing.
They had
going.
A little live or something going on.
I like that.
Yeah, it seems like content. that circle is doing pretty good. Mm-hmm. So Brittany Renner was on there. They had a bunch of discussion. The main headline from the discussion was her body count. Mm-hmm. So we're going to play a little clip from the body count conversation, and then we're going to have our own conversation. And then there's a video reacting to that we want to play as well.
I've had sex with 35 guys. Okay?
Whew. Oh, Lord.
Impressive isn't the word. So if I'm judged for
Anybody else need a shot of this?
If I'm judged for having great taste.
We are in a bar, so help yourself. We got this for the next hour. Woo.
I've had sex with 30.
All right, so there she's talking about her body count, obviously, and then she actually talks about her sexual health in a later clip. So we're going to play that right now.
Actually recall it, pinpoint it perfect for you. There was a video that I did in my car where I was talking about how I had sex with, was it 3 men in a day? Yes. And then I ended up getting a yeast infection.
Yes.
I came out pretty unscathed for just a yeast infection. But as I got older, I wanted one.
But did you think?
Did I think about the ramifications of telling people that I had sex with multiple men? Yes. I don't care. It's the truth. If you don't see me as a potential dating person, then great. One less heart to break. Leave me alone. And I'm going to continue to live my truth. Actually.
Oh, boy.
I'm screaming.
Stop.
I don't like that shit.
For sure, bro.
I don't like that shit.
Cody.
I'm weak. Ooh-wee. That's interesting.
Is it?
What you mean, is it?
Is it interesting? I'm just asking a question. That's all I'm asking.
I think it is.
3 guys in one day. Yeah, I guess that's interesting. All right, so let's here, so we can preface the conversation, okay? Because we obviously everybody has their own thoughts.
Everybody got their own thoughts about it.
Everybody has their own thoughts about it.
And we're gonna get into it.
We're gonna get into it. But I want to play this clip because it has polarizing ideas, okay?
On each side.
On each side. And I think it's fair for us to have a conversation on each side, okay?
You say the black eye.
Love black eyes.
Oh, that's definitely the wrong clip.
Mm-hmm.
Where we at? I think it was Facebook where I got that clip. Here it is.
They square and pursuing their business and walking in there and what they supposed to. Them is not asking your body count.
So you saying body count doesn't matter to a real man?
Body count matters to dudes who not in the count. Only a dude who not on his square is worried about community.
I feel like people just say stuff just to get a little, a wow factor.
Yeah.
Like, let's be realistic.
It's called pandering.
Let's be realistic, because as a man or a woman, I feel like you should be very intentional with who you're choosing to be with and who you are choosing to give yourself to.
Right.
The problem is people that push a narrative where it's okay for you to have slept with a whole bunch of people. I still want you. I'm not worried about that. They worried about the wrong thing. No, you're not worried about the right thing.
And the lies that he just told are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Dudes who just want to have sex with you, they don't care about your sexual history because they're just using you for fun. But a guy who is looking for a wife to build a family with, he most definitely cares about your sexual history. Most men want a woman on their arms that a man wants, but they could never touch.
Right.
You can live freely. You can have as many sexual partners as you want.
Mm-hmm.
Men are not telling you don't have a bunch of sexual partners. They're saying, if you want to be my wife, I don't want you to have.
They square and pursuing their.
Yeah, obviously the clip's probably gonna finish up by saying, if you want to be my wife, don't have multiple partners. So
my answer to that though is the whole, if you want to be my wife, you can't have slept around or have had multiple partners. Baby, I don't think there's not many men on this earth that have a wife that didn't have multiple partners. Let's just be honest. It's more so about, I said it in previous episode, it's more so about the reputation. So that's why I said women can date, but you see, like, most women date privately. We don't really post who we're dating.
Mm-hmm.
We honestly, a lot of people, we don't even post who our relationship is. Like, a lot of people don't, like, I've had a couple of serious relationships, but there's only like maybe 2 that actually made it to social media. You know what I mean? Because again, it's taboo for women to be linked to multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
Even though as an adult, like, you're going to have to date. If you're a person who is sexually active, I don't believe that you're in these 1, 2, 3 year relationships and not having sex with the person that you with. Whether that's 5 people, 6 people, like,
Mm-hmm.
If somebody got 5 ex-boyfriends, there go 5 bodies right there. Like, for the most part, like, come on now. Am I wrong? It's about what's known. It's not about what's actually factual, because as long as people don't know, even with women, a lot of women can forgive cheating if don't nobody else know.
If it's in private.
If it's private.
I think, yeah. I don't know. I think I don't want to, because you can get into the vein of saying, like, generalize most, who can, right? I think.
But we're 35, so you.
No,
you know what I mean? Let's be real. Let's be realistic.
That's what I'm trying to preface it with. I think when you get into this age, if we're trying to say, like, if we're trying to minimize it to this age, you have to be open to the idea that your partner has a sexual history at 35, 36, 37, right? Same way that we talk about, obviously that the dating pool starts to shrink. Obviously, kids or step parents or blended families, that conversation is more prevalent because you're at an older age. Mm-hmm. But as far as the body count goes, I think it really just depends on your values. I think if we're talking about in general with men, yes, it is your reputation, because we always say that your spouse precedes you, that when your spouse is with you, that they are an extension of who you are, or they're a representation of who you are. And when you're raising a family, for men, most men are very legacy driven. And when we're thinking legacy driven, we're thinking about who can I marry, have children with, and raise a family with. So I agree to a certain extent to what he's saying, but I also agree to a certain extent that at a certain age, body count is not even a question. When I dated, I didn't really ask body count. I was more concerned with how you carried yourself. Mm-hmm. So, but in some instances, how you carry yourself could also line up with your body count. There are some women that I saw that were a little bit loose, and those are the women that just didn't line up with my values.
And too, like, I think people, when you say values, like, not everybody sees sex as this sacred act, and it comes down to if your values align or not, because some people look at sex as like it's a natural body function. It's not like they're not looking at it like this spiritual connection, and you know how people be like, oh, there's a soul type. Like, some people don't believe in all of that. Mm-hmm. So like, and that's why I don't judge, because everybody don't believe the way that I believe or look at sex the way that I look at it or whatever. Like, honestly, do you count? Like, was you counting? Like, is that like a thing where you be like, well, I've only had sex with so-and-so? Like,
at a certain point I did. But then I stopped because it was like, again, we were talking about, that's why I said values, right? So in order for my values to line up, values to me is like also what you practice doing. So when we're talking about body count, like for instance, like with Brittany Renner, like the 3 guys in one day, like that shows your values. Like at that point, maybe, and again, people can change and people can mature, but at that point in your life, either you looked at sex as being fun, you looked at sex as being just something to do. Maybe you were bored. Maybe, you know, like she said, oh, that I have good taste. So maybe like in her vein, like the men she slept with showed like her value. And I think sometimes we do use sex as a way to validate who we are or validate.
I've seen that.
Where,
I've seen like, oh, I could pull this dude. Like, who you could pull to me don't really say.
No, it
you know what I mean? A lot to me personally.
No. And for men, it's not, we don't look at it that way, because low bearing fruit, just because I slept with you doesn't mean that you're you know, and when I'm saying valuable, in this
I just
context,
feel like as women, I personally feel like it's easier for women to get it than men.
Oh, absolutely.
So like, it's kind of like, as a woman, it's not that hard to get somebody to sleep with you.
Absolutely. But for her, especially if you're an influencer, you thinking you getting like, I mean, because she slept with Colin Kaepernick, she slept with some celebrity. So for her, that makes like, and I think women, you know, not all women, but men too, who you slept with doesn't mean that you're automatically in that circle of people now. Just because you sleep with the entertainer doesn't mean that, oh, well, now that's my standard. I'm only sleeping with entertainers from now on.
I've said that about women who...
I know some women that in Sacramento that Chris Brown has slept with. And it's like, okay, so what, do you think that now you are in the same, you know, bracket as a Chris Brown where you only going to be dating?
Well, a lot of women
with...
feel that way when they out here trying to sleep with, or out here sleeping with other girls' dudes. Like, that's why they will sit there and brag and be like, well, yo, dude, talk to me. I slept with your dude. Like, that don't make you on my level. That make him down on your level. Like, baby girl, don't get it twisted.
Well, and at the moment you was a thing. So I think, you know, when we talk about values, yes, what does sex mean to you? Is it sacred? Is it an act? Is it fun? Is it something to just pass the time? Is it something to boost your ego? Is it something to boost... It really does boil down to who you're talking to and what you're doing. And I think the thing...
And it boils down to egos.
Does boil down to egos, and for male and women egos, because you see a woman's ego on display.
It goes down to egos.
And I think that's why a lot of people were like... saying a lot of the stuff that she was saying was problematic, because you're out here giving advice when you're trying to figure it out on yourself. And you're having these car confessionals saying, I slept with 3 guys in one day and I ended up getting a yeast infection, where that could have easily, like she said, she was unscathed. That could have easily been something else.
Well,
and
I've been saying
could have easily spread it amongst the 3 men that you were sleeping with in that one day.
there's a lot more than you can get than pregnant. I've been saying that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because sometimes it's some stuff you could get. You probably rather have gotten pregnant.
Well,
like let's just be real.
There's some things you can get that you cannot get rid of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like bro, like y'all tripping. But I think personally, my issue with all of the hoopla and conversations around body count and I would like, with the guys is that y'all so worried. Y'all worry more about reputation than actual sexual health. And to me, that's where it becomes, I won't say disingenuous, but it's just kind of don't make no sense to me, because you'll sit up here and drag somebody for how many bodies they got, but you ain't been tested in a decade and don't even have the people that you sleeping with tested and will be sleeping with them unprotected. Like,
yeah, I think those are important issues.
That's crazy.
But when we're talking about,
and you'll be shocked how many men go off of the motto of she look clean versus actually getting tested with their partner. Like, that's what I'm saying. So it's more so about your ego and what other people think. You don't care about no health or none of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just about what other people think about the person that I'm dating.
Sure. Do you think that women get tested before they have other sexual partners?
I would hope so.
I'm telling you that's not the case. Ain't the case.
My husband was looking at me crazy when I was talking about shoe, because I literally just got tested recently. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, my thing is like, yeah, I'm married, but at the end of the day, when you go to the doctor, they still, when you go to get your labs done, they be like, we running, are you okay with us running everything? And they really press you to still do it, because they're like, even though you married, your husband could be doing whatever.
Spouses cheat.
Come on now. So I'm like, they even push you to still get tested when you're married.
Yeah, I think that's a personal thing. I don't think that's a gender thing.
What? Of
what you're worried about. Talking about the sexual health thing.
Well, I believe that's what people should be more worried about.
They should be.
We need to be pushing sexual health over.
Sure. But I think also if you are more promiscuous, that will also lead you with the ability to have poor sexual health. If you were sleeping with 3 people in one day,
yeah,
you that's very risky.
But what I'm saying is men need to realize that, again, like I said, most women understand the double standards, so they date privately. That does not mean they're not being reckless privately. So that's the thing. Like, if you're basing it on reputation, you could still be sleeping with somebody who don't have a reputation, but still nasty. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's fine. I mean, but that's basically saying that somebody could be lying to you. So if I'm asking you, again, and I never really asked the question, but I know there's some men who do. I think it can be asked in a tactful way. Asking for somebody's body count. But this is
the thing. They won't even ask. That's the thing. Like, if you're more concerned about the reputation, a lot of times they're not asked. They're going off of, she's not a good girl to talk to because she has a reputation. She is because she don't have a reputation.
In some instances, and again, I know there's men that do ask though, meaning not necessarily body count, but how many men have you slept with in the last 6 months? What is your?
I ain't never had nobody ask me that.
Well, if you're in the dating pool, I think that would be an important question. If you slept with 10 men in 6 months, I'm cool.
Well, I'm saying these niggas ain't asking.
Some are, some are not. Some men do want to know the body count. And that's why women be lying. Because they don't want to look like, oh, that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that body count can tell other things. So for instance.
So if you ask her the body count and she say 5, that's just the end of the conversation. You good with that? No,
it's not. It may not be. It may not be.
What do you mean it may not be the end of the conversation?
In what time span? Over your whole sexual history? Over the last year?
No. I mean, that's like if she said, 5 within or whatever.
5 within what?
I don't know. 5 years? Shit, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Because if it's 5 within the last 6 months, then it could lead to, okay, well, you need to go get tested. When was the last time you got tested?
You should do that anyway. That's what I'm saying.
Stef, I know that. But what I'm telling you is, even if that is the case, somebody might say, I've already gotten tested. Some people are naive and they just trust whatever's said. Some people need to get results.
We know. Because niggas be she told me she was on birth control. Like, bro, you stupid as hell.
Yeah. And some women be saying, he told me he was single. Oh, but that nigga was married and had a whole family. It goes both ways. It is
Oh
not.
no, that's different though. That's hella different. Hiding a family versus me saying
lying on being on birth control is different than having a family.
Bruh, it's different because you actually are sit up here having sex with somebody unprotected. You just trusting that. Me being in a relationship with you and getting to know you and finding out, I don't think that's the same.
So you think lying about birth control, having a family on the side is worse than lying about being on birth control?
I didn't say that it's worse. I'm saying there's no way to necessarily still protect yourself in that situation. If somebody lies about having a family, that's just something that you'll have to find out over time.
Correct.
If somebody lies about being birth control, you still could have protected yourself anyway, and you chose not to. That's what I'm saying.
Because you're choosing to trust the person. And you're putting and I agree with you, but again, that's been a situation where when I'm on birth control, it's good, go ahead, and they end up getting pregnant. Well, I'm telling you that it happens.
I wouldn't stop dating somebody because like you could possibly be lying about having a family. Like, no, that's something I'm gonna for sure take your word on. But something, no. Unprotected sex, I'm not taking your word on that. Sorry.
If you've been dating somebody for 6, 7, 8 months.
Okay, well, that's different.
But it's the same thing. Lying at month 1 and lying at month 9, how does that change anything?
It do, because we've built, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we built trust, bro. Like, no, we've actually built trust.
Okay.
To where now I do understand, like, eventually, sometimes, a lot of times people start having unprotected sex. But, bro, month 1, you still
lying.
I
it's
get
still
what
a lie.
I get what you're saying, but you having something to go on and nothing to go on, it is a difference.
But what I'm saying is, but the result is still the same. If you lied about you being on birth control and we have unprotected sex and you get pregnant, you're still pregnant.
You ain't get what I'm saying, but
I do get what you're saying. That at month 9, you built some trust. But again, the trust could have been built on a lie. Niggas lie every day. Women lie every day.
I get that, but I have more empathy for the person who built trust with somebody versus somebody who just met them.
I would agree.
And just believed them. Like, what?
I would agree.
Get out of here. Stop the same.
I would agree. But in the same sense, you could be dating somebody 6, 7, 8 months and find out at month 8 that they have a family.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. You could have built trust in that person too. Niggas be having secret families on the side.
I get what you're saying, but I'm saying on day 1, the person who believes somebody that said they didn't have a family got more sense than the person who believes somebody on day 1 that said they was on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Come on, that's all I'm saying.
I know, but I'm not putting a timeline on. I'm just saying the bottom line is if somebody lies about being on birth control, you can lie about being on birth control.
Whatever.
And you can end up getting trapped. And you could be locked down for 18 years having to co-parent with somebody all because somebody didn't tell the truth about them being on birth control. I think that's a little bit more egregious. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because a person that has a family, you can just choose to leave. Personally, you get somebody pregnant, you ain't leaving.
I definitely believe that's, well, again, for the person who's the victim, it's more egregious as far as like now we have a kid together and we tied for life.
Correct.
But I do feel like they both egregious as hell.
Oh, yeah. I'm not, as far as levels of egregious, I think one is more egregious than the other, but I would agree that they're both egregious.
Some stuff, to me, you should not take a person's word for, and you don't know them like that yet.
I would agree.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I agree with
that.
It's
certain things that it's like, I can see how that happened, and other things I'm like, bro, that was dumb.
I totally agree. Totally agree. I feel like you should protect yourself. But again, there are instances where it does happen, whether it be early or late. And again, those are case-by-case scenarios. Those are not again, we were talking general, but case-by-case scenarios, sometimes those things do happen. But either way, back to the main conversation about
does body count matter?
Does body count matter? There you go.
Yes or no?
I am going to say it does matter. I think it does matter. It doesn't matter to the point where I think you should be I think you need to also keep in different walks of life, and again, values. Let's go back to what I said before. Values does matter. It depends on your values. If you value that, there is a stat that says the more people you have had sex with, you're more liable to have infidelity in your relationships. So it could matter. It just depends on your values. If you value sex and sex is sacred, and you are one of those men that you want an exclusive woman that has not slept with multiple people, or vice versa, if you are a aspiring wife that does not want to walk into a room and feel like you're embarrassed by your husband sleeping with everybody, then yeah, then it obviously does matter. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But I just think it depends on who you are. I think it depends on your walk of life. And I think it just depends on, again, what you value and maybe your morals. But at the same time, you cannot ask for something that you have not done yourself. If you have slept around and then you're telling somebody else that they have only, hey, you better only have 5 something below or whatever, I think you need to be open to the ability that if you have slept around, then I feel like it is, I don't want to say egregious, I think it is hypocritical to then require that from somebody else. Now, if you are in a place where maybe you are celibate and you are asking for whoever you're with to be celibate, I think that's a totally different conversation, right? Because that's just showing that you can have self-control in that area. But your history, if you've had 20, 25, 30 bodies and you expecting your partner to only have 2, it's not, it's not.
That's my question.
That's kind of hypocritical.
Everybody keep throwing out the women who have multiple partners. What's the definition of multiple partners? Because to me, multiple partners is more than one. So who only got one?
I think that depends on the person. It depends on what you're. It depends on what you're.
Niggas 35 expecting somebody to have.
But at the same
2
time,
bodies.
but even when you ask that question, is the truth ever told?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
At 35, let me be quiet.
No, go ahead. At 35, what?
Are you still counting? That's the question.
Some people do. Some people say if you stop counting, that means
it's a lot.
That you up there.
I don't know. I never honestly, I was sitting there okay, well, let me sit up here. Let me go back and think. I don't like.
Well, she has 35, and I think she's in her 20s. I don't know if she's in her late 20s, mid 20s. I forgot how old she is.
I thought she was. I think she's late 20s because everybody was saying that she was. How's she a pedophile then? If she in her early 20s, because what's his name was early 20s, and they were saying that she was.
She's 31.
Yeah, I'm like, she's in her.
Well, no, they called her a pedophile because she was at the college talking about I'm on the prowl.
No, when she got with had the baby with the dude, they was already saying that she was.
Well, because I think when they first started dating, wasn't he 19, 20?
Mm-hmm.
I think he was young.
But either way, I don't know. I
think they were calling her a predator. They weren't calling her a pedophile. But same. I know what you're saying.
Same difference.
Yeah.
But for me, I would have to say body count at 35 don't matter to me at that point. At this point at 35, you're looking to find somebody who ain't got kids. Mm-hmm. You're probably not gonna find somebody who ain't got kids a lot of the time. So it's to me at that point, come on now, mm-hmm. What difference do it make? Mm-hmm. You too damn old.
For me, I never asked a question. I just never asked it. Because for one, I knew I wasn't gonna get the truth, and for two, if I did get the truth, I probably wasn't gonna like it.
Look, I ain't gonna say no names, but I know somebody who asked somebody and they was like, bro, that was higher than mine. I'm like, that's the problem, honestly, is most men have not slept with as many women as they would have liked to. And I think that really rubs them the wrong way because women have much more options than them when it comes to having sex. So the way to keep women from exploring those options is to shame them about having too many bodies. Because I remember when I first became sexually active, I'm not gonna lie, I was really anal about that. And I would stay around messing with somebody that I knew I did not like because it's well, I can't get another body. But at the end of the day, women have sexual desires as well too. So it's y'all be talking about why y'all keep messing with the same dudes. Some women, A, it's hard to find dudes that know what they doing, and B, it's right, exactly, to go with what you know.
But men do the same thing. Men, I think in this day and age,
but they don't do it for the same reason.
No. But I'm saying it's safer.
Do they care about I don't think
it's safer. Yeah,
but
I did.
I don't think men care about their body count going up though.
Some do. I did.
I'm like, for
one,
a lot of
not-
women, it was like, I ain't trying to add another body to the
I felt
list.
like I needed to slow it down a little bit, and I did not. Look, I got a clean bill of health. I ain't never had nothing. So for me, that was always my biggest fear. I was like, yeah, we're gonna just keep it one consistent. We gonna just be the friends with benefits, and we gonna keep it like that until whatever else happens. But
until I start dating somebody.
and there you go.
It'd be like it was like we're
until you start dating somebody.
we talking, and if it's bad on your end, you talking to somebody, and I hit you, and it's all right, I know what's going on.
I'm good.
And then you do that tester.
Yeah.
And then when they hit me with the tester, if we both free, ain't talking to nobody, boom. Like,
that's how it was. But no, I was very cognizant of my body count, and I was very cognizant of my health. And no, I didn't. Every time it was somebody new, I was always like, all right, like this is uncharted waters. Let's kind of get some type of understanding going on before any of that. So
I think overall, people need to prioritize sexual health over everything. And that means actually asking the questions that matter, which is, have you been tested? And when was the last time you got tested? But you're saying, but also get the test results. Yes.
Because somebody can lie. And I know how most people get tested is they have the other person get tested. And if they good, then they think that they good. That's how it goes. I'm trying to tell you the truth.
A fool. A fool.
Well, that's
don't
how
be
it
out
is.
here. Don't be out here talking about reputations and you ain't even checking your damn health. A fool.
You can still worry about your reputation, though.
A fool.
Well,
your priorities wrong.
Men are worried about that. So
if you ain't doing both, something wrong.
You can do both, but women need to understand that. Yeah, men, when they're looking for a wife, they're looking for somebody that they feel is worthy of bearing their last name. And I think legacy does play a part in that. And I think you can't be naive to think that men don't think like that.
People ain't getting tested before they get married. You know.
Well, I mean, technically, you should be getting tested while you're married.
A fool. You know what I'm saying? A fool. The logic is just foolish to me. I'm sorry. The logic is foolish. I want somebody that's worthy of carrying my name. You get all the way down the aisle and don't even know what this person got. A fool. It's a fool. I'm sorry.
But when you're going through the process of figuring out if this woman is worthy of the last name, you should know who you're marrying. You don't think that
if you don't know their status, you don't know them.
What?
If you don't know their status, bro,
if you don't know their status, if they've been sleeping with you every single night, you don't think that they know their status? That's in the dating process. That's not before marriage. Now, unless you think that she's cheating. And according to the report, the more bodies you got, the more liable you are to cheat.
Well, that makes sense.
I've been saying that for the longest.
Because
that you are what you practice.
Yeah, like we've already said that, but
so that's why I said maybe body count. Maybe that is a question people do need to be asking. Maybe y'all do need to ask for the whole facts and see if there's a salvage title up on the report.
At the end of the day, Deaconess Drea said your wholeness can be deleted.
Oh no, it can't.
Yes, it can.
Oh no.
Your wholeness can be deleted.
No, the wholeness definitely can't be. Nuh-uh.
First of all, if anybody asks me how many bodies I've had, baby, I've had one.
No, the wholeness cannot be deleted.
I got one body, my husband.
The wholeness cannot.
My husband, my only body.
Deleted. I don't care what Dre said.
Shit fall off your credit report after 7 years.
Got
so
money.
what's
this ain't
up?
The credit report, but when you get that car, when you get that Carfax, that damn accident's still gonna show up on there.
I mean, who gonna tell me I only got one body?
Okay, you can say that, but it's a lie.
I have a new name.
Okay, and
that means I am a new person.
When you change your name, that credit report still be following.
Stephanie Jefferson is not the same as Stephanie Walker. Stephanie Walker got one body.
Well, technically, when you don't it say that when you get married that the two become one? So that means same way
our bodies go together.
Same way you inherit his credit, you inherited his bodies too.
He was a hoe.
Well, you inherit the bodies. You inherit the bodies, so his bodies became your bodies.
I'm weak. Like I said, I am a new woman.
You inherit that man's bodies. I'm sorry to tell you that. You better ask that man how many bodies he got.
Oh, I know. Trust me.
Men be lying about their bodies too. All right.
And do, because they got way less.
Nah, I think sometimes we be trying to. So, look, men do that because we ask first.
What do you mean ask?
A lot of men will ask how many bodies you got first.
So then they can lie.
And then so we can kind of say, because if you say 20, we be like, man, all right, I got like 22. But if you say like 4, he like, I got like 8.
Oh, so basically you just base it off what she got. I can't.
Because you can't be sitting there and saying you got 80 and you only got 2.
See, my husband too honest.
How many bodies he got?
I ain't putting his business out
Is
there.
over 50?
I ain't putting his business out there.
You already put it out there. You already said he had a lot of bodies.
He know who he is.
How many bodies that man got? That man got bodies in Cali and in Texas.
Hey, I know some dudes that got kids everywhere they lived. Bro, that's crazy.
I wouldn't put it past.
What's up next?
All right, we're going to talk about Terrell Owens and Ocho Cinco. I got to find it, man.
Man.
All right, here we go. All right, so they had a very interesting conversation about their preferences. No, I didn't say the preferences, but why Terrell Owens' preferences are the way they are.
I'm about to say the origin story of his
preferences, not Ocho Cinco's, but his preferences. Hold on. I got to switch this over. Let me make sure this is up a little bit.
My experiences with black women growing up wasn't so good. When I started dating white girls, my first experience with white girls is when I went to college. I tried to date some black girls when I was in college. They did not like me. I was skinny. I was strong.
Right.
I was teased from high school, even to college. I got teased for being dark skinned.
Damn, so they tease you, cuz?
Yeah. So there was a lot of self-esteem issues.
Right.
No, I'm being dead honest. So when I got my opportunity, when my first experience with a white girl, I'm like, okay, it wasn't bad, but that wasn't. I just totally gravitated to white girls after that.
Right.
That wasn't the situation. So again, my experiences with black women growing up wasn't so good. So, but that still didn't deter me from still dating or pursuing black girls. Right. So my thing now is because I know there's the stigma, the stereotypical of athletes, to go off and make money, this and that, and date the opposite color, opposite race. But for me now, where I am, it's not even about color. It's not even about race. For me, it's about somebody that I have some chemistry with, good energy, and I get a good vibe with. Right. That's where I am. Like I said, we all want somebody that's attractive.
Right.
You know what I mean? Aesthetics going to play a big part in it. Anybody that says, "Oh, well, I don't care what the person looks like," that's a lie. That's a lie. We all want somebody that we can roll over and wake up to. That's, you know what I mean, that looks pleasing to the eye. Everybody's experiences have been different. For me, when I grew up, I was in my high school pretty much is 50. I don't know what percentage black, white, but I lived in a black neighborhood. So at the end of the day, I attempted to date black girls. When I was younger, I wasn't as handsome as I am now. I didn't have this beautiful smile as I had as I have now.
You hit puberty.
Right. I was a late bloomer.
Yeah.
And when I bloomed, boy, did I bloom. My experiences with
Ooh wee. Sir. And first of all, I'm not going to discredit his experience because at the end of the day, I had the exact same experience. Like, it's not just like dark-skinned people. We all know how it is growing up, getting teased for being dark-skinned or whatever and all of that. I feel like we all kind of had that growing up for dark-skinned people, so he not lying.
I think that's fair.
But one thing that I've always said is that dark-skinned people have to reconcile and heal that trauma of being, teased for being dark or whatever, and the featureism and the texturism that we dealt with growing up, because it manifests itself in two ways. Animosity towards light-skinned people, or dating outside of your race for the wrong reasons. I won't just say dating outside of your race, but for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? And to me, it's one of those things that you have to check within yourself and ask yourself, like, you know, you're the only one who could say, like, I can't say like, oh, it's rooted in self-hate, but a lot of what he's saying is giving, you know what I'm saying? He said he had self-esteem issues. You know what I mean? And a lot of times that's what it is rooted in. Internalized, anti-blackness, all of that. You know what I mean? So you have to really reconcile with yourself. And it seems to me that he's to a place where he's looking for a partner for more of the right reasons. You know what I mean? I didn't see the whole interview or whatever, and I haven't really kept up with him and, you know, what he been up to or his dating history or whatever. But for what he's saying, it seems like, you know, he's at a place where he understands where, you know what I mean, it's coming from. And it's not necessarily about race, but I don't know. I had the same thing. You see my husband, he blacker than me, so
yeah. And I'm kind of just going towards the history just to see, and I mean, I don't pay attention to the tabloids and things like that, but apparently Vivica A. Fox, Lisa Leslie, Sanaya Lathan, Jessica White. I mean, there's some Kenya Moore. He has dated. I mean, based on the, you know, again, I don't keep track of this stuff, but I mean, he has dated some black women that are more or less in his status. Because I think, you know, when we always have these conversations, we always have to bring up the proximity, right? And we always have to bring up, you know, most people want to date people that are in their tax bracket. And typically when you're an athlete, you know, obviously there's not too many other people that are in that tax bracket that are the same hue as you. And, you know, part of it also too is dark skin, you know, not all dark skin people, but some dark skin people don't want their children to go through the same thing they went through. So then they date lighter or white people to lighten up their skin, whether they want to admit it or not. And, you know, I think, you know, these conversations are always interesting because I always hear that, like, and I'm going to say it's excuse because I don't want to discount, like you said, I don't want to discount his
but people is tired of that excuse.
Well,
they are.
But I've heard
because some people do
I'm
use
a nerd,
it as an excuse.
Or
right.
I was this and black girls wasn't really into me and things of that nature. So I don't know if I would call it an excuse.
It can be. At the end of the day, like, I feel like some people do use that as an excuse because at some point, like, bro, you gotta grow up. Like, you gotta heal. Like, you gotta let that hurt go.
I would say, though, I think, and maybe for women too, I can't speak on their standpoint, but I know for men, a lot of men just date women that will date them.
Especially the options. Like, we talked about options.
Especially in that, like, in that age, 18, 19, teenager years, you typically don't understand value, your own value. You're not validated, right? Especially when you're dark skinned, you're skinny, you're scrawny, you know, you have low self-esteem. So most of the time you date whoever shows interest in you.
Exactly.
I know that because that's how it was for me. I only dated women that if you showed interest, then I was like, all right, cool, I can bet. But I didn't have enough confidence to like approach or talk to women that I thought were attractive until I got more confidence. Then I feel like, oh, okay, look, I can start interacting, changing, talking. So I feel like that has a lot to play in it. And I think with dark-skinned men, black men just in general, we are over-sexualized. So a lot of times the interest that we perceive to be interest is not really interest. It's I'm interested sexually. Right? Or this is taboo, or this is exotic, or this
you mean as far as like from other races?
From other races.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not true. It's not truly being interested.
And then too, you got to think like, you know, you saying like, oh, you know, the black girls wouldn't mess with me or whatever, but it seeming like the white girls wasn't messing with you either until you was, you know, a prospect.
Until you're an athlete.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you're an athlete now. This point you in college, you probably are, you know, you're already on the trajectory of, you know, being somebody with money. So, you know what I mean? So you got to think about that too, because you didn't say like maybe the white girls wasn't teasing you, but they wasn't messing with you either.
Well, I don't think he was highly recruited. But bottom line is, again, it's
but you had some sort of status as an athlete in college.
Or just you being a black athlete.
That's what I'm saying. That gives you some sort of status of, ooh,
I'm just saying, just as far as like, again.
But it's not like, the black girls wasn't messing with me, they was teasing me, but the white girls was interested. That ain't what he said.
Yeah, I mean,
not till way, till later.
Yeah, but from our culture, typically we get teased by our own people, especially when you're dark.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah, so
that's why I'm like, I won't say that I don't have no empathy for him because I get it.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, like if you still was on that same hype of like, bro, how old are you? Like 50? Come on now, let that hurt go. You know what I mean? And some just never do. You know what I mean? And that's I've been in that position, and a lot of times I be saying like, girl, run. Like dudes that haven't really dated a lot of black girls, or I've been a dude's first black girlfriend, and it ain't it ain't cute.
Yeah,
like for real, because it's like they literally will take out all of that animosity that they have out on you, or it's like you're always constantly being tested. Like, you know what I mean? It's like to see if you're like the other black girls. I ain't gonna play them kind of games.
Yeah, I mean, and we do have to, some of those things, and that's why we always say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt. No, some of them words do stick, and some of them words do cause wounds, and you can carry those along with you. Right. And then, the same way that we say, why, like men always say, why am I paying for what some other guy did to you? Right. It's the same thing. Women can also pay for whatever, some other girl may have said to them. Like,
or every time you get into something, it's like, see, this why I don't date black. Oh, you only got to say that, but one time and I'm gone. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't do that. I don't like that. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think that's, it's not right to generalize like that. But on the flip side of that, when you've been, and again, I'm not justifying that part of it, but I think when you've been hurt and when you've been teased, when you've been made fun of, when you've felt rejected, when somebody does finally accept you, even though it's very primitive, but again, at that age, as a teenager, like your brain isn't even formed yet. So you kind of start like, and I can't relate to that, but I can only imagine, you kind of start thinking like, okay, they don't mess with me, but this side does. They see me. So it's like, you're always going to gravitate to where you feel like you're most respected. And when you keep going to one side, they keep on getting made fun of. But at the same time, like he admitted, at that point in time, he wasn't really much of anything. So when you grow and you mature and then when you become more attractive,
you gotta grow into your looks.
Yeah, I was like when you become more attractive, then that opens up your options.
I mean, because he said himself, everybody wants somebody that's attractive, and you clearly said that you was a late bloomer. So come on now, like what it was more so rooted in, but was it definitely probably rooted in a lot of colorism and shit like that too.
And culture has a very big part to play in that as well. Like when I hear black girls, they're not really into me. It's like, well, what are you into? Oh, anime, this, and I was like, okay, well, most black girls aren't into that. So culturally, yeah, you're not going to be able to relate to most black girls. But there are black girls that are. I've seen plenty of black girls that are in the cosplay, in the anime. But again, back when I was growing up, they weren't. That was a very pocketed segment. Obviously, it's become more popular now. So, that's why I don't diss people that date outside their race.
But even still, like, even with it becoming more, like, diverse as far as, like, culturally, it's still a lot of dudes that don't date black girls.
No, I know.
Talk to the dark skinned girls. Like, to this day.
I get it. I'm not.
It ain't even changed.
And I'm not saying the ones that use that as an excuse. There are legitimate conversations where I've had with people that say, obviously, you want to date somebody that is into the things that you're into. And if you cannot find that within your race, I'm not going to condemn you for you dating outside your race.
I'm talking about the younger generation. Like, they still saying the same things that we were saying. As far as like, you know what I mean? The black girls not getting no play. to this day, the younger generation, like, and I'm like, damn. And to me personally, I'm like, dang, I know it's probably easier and stuff on my nieces and stuff like that because, you know, dark skin is in now. Like everybody, you know what I mean? Like is more so embracing natural hair. They're embracing, like, you know what I'm saying?
I think we are.
That's what I'm saying. Like to me, that's what we're seeing, but that's real. It's still not really.
Why on our level we're seeing it.
Yeah.
On their level, I don't think so.
It ain't really.
No, because and we talked about it before, but that's why media plays such a big part to play in it. Media has not really embraced, to some extent they have, but like on their level, no. It's still, you're getting an overrepresentation of ratchet, black, unintelligent, ghetto, loud, combative. You're not really seeing the sophisticated, intellectual, multifaceted, career, business, well-spoken black girl who has natural hair and is desirable. You don't really see too many of that in media. On their level, they're going up with Cardi B, Nicki, Sexy
Oh well,
Red.
you're talking about music. I'm like,
no, I'm talking
what?
about just in media. Where in media do you see that? They don't watch Insecure. They don't watch like those. That's more mature content for us. What do they see?
You know, I don't really watch their shows, so I really couldn't tell you.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think there is. They're more in the TikTok.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. They're not really even. I can't tell you like what shows like.
But but even that, either media, music, TV, movies. There's not a lot of representation for us, especially dark-skinned women in their spaces.
So that's what I'm saying. It's still the same thing, and that's why I think a lot of women like really kind of attacked him because they're like, we tired of hearing that because we went through the same thing. So it's kind of like and we still. Like, I went through the same thing, and I still, like I said last episode, I've only dated black.
Sure. But we can't, and I don't like when, we have to make room for people to be able to speak their piece. Right?
And that's why I said what I said.
I know for you. I'm saying, but, you can't, why attack him for what he said? That's his experience. You attacking him is only reinforcing his experience.
Honestly, because that's the narrative that we've been hearing for so long of, I don't date black girls because they didn't.
But I don't think he said he doesn't date black girls though.
No, but I'm saying that's where a lot of the
venom comes
like it was
from.
triggering.
I understand
that's
that.
what I'm saying. They were triggered by that because that's what we've been hearing of the reason. Here we come with another reason of why you don't date black girls. That's how people saw it.
Totally
but I feel like as a dark-skinned woman that dealt with the same thing, I could empathize on that.
Right.
But to an extent still.
Right. I understand. I just feel like, but you do, and I'm not saying you, them bashing him for what he said is the exact reason why he feels the way that he feels. Because he said something you don't like, then you voice your opinion about it. You're not giving him space for him to just be him. He didn't say, I don't think, he from what I heard from it.
Yeah.
He never said, I'm not open to dating black women. It sounded like to me, he just said, color is not as important as what I thought it was, and I'm going to find somebody that fits what I need. That's basically, in a nutshell, what he was saying. I don't think he excluded black women from it. I just think he said, I'm more open to all avenues. Just, okay, and if that's what he's saying, that's what he's saying. But this internet, I'm going to bully you into what I want you to say or what I need you to do. Terrell Owens is, 50-something years old? Like, I get it, but, that's his experience. And he's right. He has a right to feel hurt, triggered, whatever, pain from those childhood experiences. And I think we have to, again, allow men, women, whoever from all walks of life to be able to speak their experience. Now, if you don't agree with it, then that's fine. But it's kind of like you can't really disagree with somebody's experience. He was the one in school. Now, not unless it was one of the girls that went to school with him and said, "Hey,
well, no, it's again, it depends on the conclusion. I could disagree with your conclusion. I could disagree with saying, if he would have said I don't date black girls because of this, I could disagree with that all day.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But that's not an experience.
But
though.
when you're putting your, you already know how it is when you put something out on the internet.
Yeah.
So.
I think we can disagree with the conclusion, but we can't disagree with somebody's experience. If somebody said, "Hey, I was teased all the way from middle school through high school by black women, so that's why I don't date black women," then yeah, I can say I disagree with that because there's other black women outside of that experience. Mm-hmm. But if you could say that's...
I could guarantee you wasn't only getting teased by black women, baby. Because boys are way more ruthless.
Well, but you're not dating boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously from his perspective, he's
But you'll never see niggas talking about, well, I'm not really friends with black guys because they tease me growing up. You wasn't that triggered.
Well, but see, but again, even in that, when we tease each other, especially if you're in sports, it's not teasing to it's teasing to play around and haze you and things of that nature. It's not teasing you and rejecting you. That's a totally different kind of teasing. If you get rejected by a girl, that is a totally different pain from when you are on a football team with somebody and they call you, "Oh man, you so black. When you turn off the lights, I only see your teeth." That's not a rejection. Mm-hmm. That's just I'm just poking fun at some of your insecurities. But if a girl says that and it's somebody that you like, it's that sticks with you for 3, 4, 5 days, and obviously for
5 days. Look at Drake album, it stick with you for life.
Well, there you go. There you go. There you go. Because it's a rejection. That's
with them for life, baby.
At the root of it, it's the rejection of it.
They don't let that go.
He don't let that go.
What?
He don't. We're talking about Drake.
Drake. Do you be on the internet? Do you see these men and how they act? Some
of them let him go. Some of them don't. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Matter of fact, that's the next topic.
That's the next topic anyway.
All right. So I'm going to let you run this because you the Drake expert.
Here we go with this Drake expert.
I'm not the Drake expert.
It ain't really much to say. Drake dropped the album.
No, there's a lot to say.
For All the Dogs. And basically it's an album of him airing out his grievances with his past relationships. Again. Pretty much on every song. But I feel like this album is different because literally the whole song is him. But I mean, I didn't really expect much because the album is called For All the Dogs, so it's on brand. That's obviously what the temperature of this album is. Every single song.
So, and just to preface this, it came out today. We skimmed through it. Yes.
I didn't skim through. I listened and read the lyrics as I was listening.
But you didn't finish though, right?
I got 4 songs left.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Out of 23.
So that's to me, a first listen to me is a skim. You ain't what I'm saying is we don't have no in-depth reaction to the album. So okay, I skimmed through it. How about that? I skimmed through the album. I listened to the majority of the album. I did get through every single track though. So before we get into the drama, so first of all, what do you think about the album since you are
Drake's album, bop or flop? I would say it's a bop. The production always on Drake albums hit, so that's always gonna shine. To me personally, I personally feel like the production always shines.
It was good production.
He always usually got good production, so
it was good production.
It's gonna hit. You know what I mean? The beats is gonna hit.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, but
I'm dang, it's kind of. We've always seen Drake talk about his relationships on songs. And like you said, I've listened to every Drake album. Mm-hmm. But I'm damn, this bitter Drake era is new for me.
New? This bitter?
New? He's petty. We all knew that. He's petty king. But as far as man.
This ain't new. To me, a lot of his music is bitter. The whole Scorpion album was basically about Kanye.
Well, that's different. I'm talking about relationship bitter.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, even in competition, it's I don't know. It's he just holds grudges.
Oh yeah, he said that on one of the songs. He said he held grudge for 75 years. He said that. We know that. Petty King, we know that. But I'm talking about the content of this album.
I totally get what you're saying. I'm just saying, but it to me is not new because his music has always kind of been that. It's always been almost like this passive aggressiveness towards women.
Yeah. Here and there.
They say massage. Well,
I've never seen him have a whole album literally.
I don't know, man.
Relationship after relationship after. Like if you actually listen to the album and listen to the lyrics, I'm like, bro, you really mad.
I don't know. Well, so musically, we're gonna get to the drama next. So you're saying it's a bop.
Yeah, it got some bops on there.
I don't know, man. I think it's kind of mid, man. I love the production.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't feeling the album. I just couldn't get into it. And again, I skimmed through it, so I'm gonna spend some more time with it. I just couldn't really get into it. And the only song that really, and I would say only song, the song that stood out the most wasn't even. It was his song, obviously, because his album, but it was J. Cole's verse on
First Person
Shooter. That was the best verse on the whole album.
Honestly, I like for me it's where that song. First of all, Screw the World interlude, go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad it's just an interlude. What Would Pluto Do is a bop. That's a slapper.
I have to listen to it again. 8 a.m. in Charlotte. I was a little disappointed. Usually his 4 a.m.s and 8 a.m.s, those usually have high level rapping, and it was okay.
I definitely like when I go through an album, I have a playlist that basically like any song that I like, I don't care what genre it is, it goes on that playlist. It's like all my favorite songs. So when I listen to an album, if I like a song, I put it over to that playlist. And this one, I think I ain't gonna lie, I only moved over like 2.
That's what I'm saying. So you saying it's a bop, but you only moved over 2 that you liked out of 23. You gonna have to say it. You gonna have to go ahead and say it. You gonna have to change your answer.
No, because I like the songs.
2 out of 23 though?
That's on first listen though.
That's less than 10%.
But that's on first listen.
But on the first listen of your favorite artist's album, you only moved over 2 songs out of the 23?
3, excuse me, because Slime You Out was already on there.
I don't like that shit.
Slime You Out was already
You
moved
gonna have
over.
to say it.
I don't like that shit.
It's a flop.
Nah.
3 out of 23, and you still think it's a bop?
I said I like the songs. I'm not gonna move them over to that playlist.
Okay, I'm saying it's a flop. J. Cole had the best verse on the whole album. There was some bops on there, but I think overall as a project, it just wasn't a good project. His albums are starting to sound more like playlists than they are like to sound like albums. I like the interlude. I like the interludes. I like that he's there was some little. I ain't gonna say it. I like that he's featured. I think the features were good. It was very interesting that he gave Kevin Durant a credit for being an A&R on the album. I would assume
What you think about the Sexy Red feature?
I think it fit her. I think it fit. I didn't like it, but it did fit her, and I can tell that will be a TikTok song. Matter of fact, you know what? I don't say I don't like it. I did like it. I think it fit. I just won't be playing it anymore.
I feel like this Drake album really fits the title For All the Dogs, and it really kind of is on brand with the climate right now of airing women out. Like there's literally a whole thread on Twitter of men talking about how much they hate their girlfriends.
Well,
you feel what I'm saying? So it's like that's kind of the climate right now of airing out what we don't like about women, what we don't like about relationships, what we don't like about our exes. That's the climate with men right now.
I can see that. I will say this. The one thing I do not like, for sure, and I got to find it, but I guess, obviously he dissed multiple women on here. So I know we're going to end up talking about that, right? So obviously fear of heights. The internet is believing that it's about Rihanna, the first part of it, right?
Mhm.
So are you subscribing to that? Do you think that it's about her?
Yeah, absolutely. The anti-line, the gal, he's definitely talking about Rihanna. So, like, I don't feel like there's a question about that. I know we wanted to play that game with the whole Meg Thee Stallion. He technically wasn't talking about Meg Thee Stallion. Nah.
He was definitely talking about Meg Thee Stallion.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be so obvious, but niggas still want to play stupid. But he was definitely talking about Rihanna. And again, like I said, bitter.
Yeah. The other thing I don't like is there's a Baltimore rapper by the name of Rai Rai. I guess that he sampled her and did not give her credit. And this is not the first time that this has happened. This is the second time that this has happened. And this is what she said. She said, "Willie Drake, so my vocals again, no credit. I really want to be flattered, but I feel like it's trolling. ATP, oh my God. One of my favorite artists doing this. I don't know how to feel anymore, but thank you for reminding me that my 15-year-old vocals are still legendary." And he sampled her on Calling for You. That's the same track I think that he sampled Friday's freestyle in the background as well. And again, we all know that obviously it's not Drake sampling it, it's the producer sampling it. But again, this is not the first time that he's done it. I think the other track that he sampled from her was Currents. And I guess there was a big viral post about that went viral. And I guess his team reached out to her supposedly and did or did not rectify it. But just it's starting to look a little nasty. It was the comments about Megan Thee Stallion. And I don't think he ever apologized. Especially with the Tory Lanez stuff going on, right? Because he was a very big proponent, basically calling her a liar, and then the whole shoot line, right? And we talked about that. Then you diss Rihanna after
says her sex is average.
Yeah.
That's to me
while
lame.
She has 2 children and she's in a relationship, and then she make it seem like he said a line something like oh, old boy can't leave you or something like that.
He said and he said and I have badder bitches than you.
Yeah,
that man, he's still with you, he can't leave you.
Yeah, for what? Like, okay, so then
wait, we forgot about Serena. Because he dissed her on the last album with 21 Savage.
He dissed Serena. And then he dissed old girl that got the Grammy.
Esperanza
Spalding. That happened like 10 years ago, didn't it? Like, bro, like, why did that even come up?
Let me see. Hold on. Because I'm like, bro, let that go.
I think I posted it. I posted it in the Nation. Hold on. Yeah, I did. Oh, and let me read this.
The 2011 Grammys.
Yeah.
She got Best New Artist.
Because I remember the line said something about I don't care if Michelle Obama
who give a fuck Michelle Obama put you on her playlist.
Yeah.
Then we never hear from you again like you was taken.
Yeah. Like, bruh, that was 12 years ago.
And he said on one of the songs that he hold grudges for 75 years. So like he basically like airing out
but it's not,
all his grievances, but it just looked goofy.
It looks corny as hell. And especially when women are the ones that are buying your music.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. So here's the post that somebody posted. And I think it's pretty funny. Well, not funny, but something that you said that I think that we all agree with. Y'all hate Future but love Drake. Future is to Drake what Superman suit is to Clark Kent. Now I see why y'all always talking about somebody manipulating y'all. Drake say the same shit Future say, but over an R&B beat and singing. Something you said already. Fans think that, oh yeah. And then the Esperanza.
I said that a couple on the episode where we talked about him dissing Meg Thee Stallion. And I was like, I don't think anybody is confused like about what Drake is. Like there's F-boys and then it's the F-boys that think they're good dudes. And that's the category that Drake fall in.
Yeah, there's a distinction between good guys and good men. And
that line came from Insecure, and it was the truth. Like, you think you a good dude, but you really not. You still out here doing the same thing. Like,
right. And feel like, what did Esperanza Spalding do to you at all? Nothing.
She won.
And she's an incredible artist. She's a bass player. She's a great vocalist. Like, give her credit.
I think it's kind of almost like
See, but and I think that's what really bothers people about Drake is he's almost like a Derek Jackson, right? Mm-hmm. Where he has these songs that are like uplifting and anthems for women, but in the same vein, then he's also dissing and disparaging and misogynistic and condescending towards women in the same breath.
He's still a hip hop artist, baby, and that's hip hop ain't changed much.
But the problem with that is he is at the forefront of it. He can change it. He's just choosing not to because I think he feels like it's almost like he's at his best. Like it's almost like a Kobe Bryant. Like when Kobe Bryant was at his best, Michael Jordan was at his best, they always use slights to push them in competition, right? So they almost looked for somebody offending them. It's almost like I think he needs that. He needs to feel like I'm slighted in some type of sense or form. And to me, it's like in music, when majority of the music that you're getting isn't even coming from you, right? So Party Next Door wrote a lot of his R&B music. Mm-hmm. You're at a point right now where you don't even write the majority of every lit. It does not have to be that.
I feel like
I don't know.
I do feel like Tried Our Best is gonna be niggas' anthem though.
So what I feel like, here's the real question. Do you feel like people are getting tired of Drake? Do you feel like that? Because a lot of people said it and it didn't really register, but I think now hindsight is 2020. Do you feel like the Pusha T, and I'm not saying just even that incident, but do you feel like things have started to go downhill from that time? From that point in time, do you feel like that people have started to look at Drake differently? And do you feel like that maybe his run of the Golden Boy is over?
I wouldn't credit it to the Pusha T.
No, that's what I said. I'm not saying that incident. I'm saying from that, like if we were to mark a point in time where you saw an ascending, do you feel like at that point that it started to descend? Because remember, it was the whole Adonis thing. It was the porn star came out. It was maybe not less the song, but just the information. Because at that point, it was almost like Drake was indestructible. There was no trinks. There was nothing bad about him. There was no dirt on Drake. After that, it kind of made him look kind of crazy. Because you're here, again, upholding women, but yet you are hiding a baby by a porn star, and you were basically not wanting to tell the world and going to use it as a press run. And it didn't come from him. It came from somebody, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of made him look a little vulnerable. Because before, it was the whole Meek thing. Like, Drake was basically unscathed up until that point.
Mm-hmm. Like, he was always ahead of
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could say that. I think, too, like, it further proved, like, what we already knew. Like, you're just like the rest of these dudes. And what we always say about dudes, like, they'll talk all this mess, but y'all still messing with these girls that y'all swear y'all don't want to mess with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. You have a baby by a porn star, bro.
Right. So do you feel like his perception, do you feel like, because I think that's the one thing that I have to critique him on is that the group of women, and not even the room, and just the fans that grew with you are outgrowing your music.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, literally, I felt like from Slime You Out, I said then on that song, like, it's a cool song, but it's just kind of like,
Heard this before.
Not heard this before, just the content of it, like, and it kind of like,
that's what I'm saying.
It prefaced what this album was going to be like. Like, okay, so you're still using women.
That's what I'm saying.
For sex. And like, you know what I'm saying?
Heard this before.
It's like, bro, a lot of people's like, bro, you need to grow up.
Yeah. I think I said that
you got a whole kid.
I think I said that. I think I literally said that the last show. You have other things going on in life, and we will want to hear you mature in your music. Mm-hmm. And you haven't.
I don't know. I think the issue is not even just Drake, but the Nickies and all of them. Like, bro, they're trying to stay on trend with what
trying to stay with the younger artists.
With the younger artists, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, if that's the way you want to go, like.
I think there's a tasteful way to do that, though. You can still grow and mature, but still reach back to a younger artist and feature them on a song or go into their pocket.
But I feel like they're just trying to stay on trend, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me, that's what the Sexy Red feature was giving.
Yeah, but I mean, that's on par with Drake too.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever is trendy at the time, he finds a way to, which it's, sometimes it works in their interest, sometimes it doesn't. But he finds a way to, I don't want to maybe borrow from the sound, but he also highlights the artist too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but in this instance, not really highlighting her because she's already kind of highlighted. But yeah, I can say I don't know.
We've had the misogynist Drake conversation, and like we've already came to the conclusion, like he ain't no different.
He's not no different.
But
But I feel like that it's becoming repetitive, and I think people are starting to become tired of it. And I feel like you going out of your way to diss Rihanna, Esperanza, like before,
it's gonna get you listens because people gonna want to hear it for themselves.
They are, but at the same time, it's kind of like I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what does Drake want for his legacy? Obviously, he's already in the conversations of Michael Jackson's and things of that nature, but it's kind of like lately, music-wise, what have you done that's been quality? What quality albums, bodies of work, songs have you released that we can say honestly stack up to what you have produced in the past?
Mm-mm.
I can't really think of anything recently.
And he really got to think about it. Like,
is this what you want your legacy to be? That you are a rapper, singer that is very bitter over the women that have jaded you or have rejected you, and that's all we're going to hear from you?
I feel like what he got to realize is you're still Drake. And I feel like the audience that he's trying to appeal to is not going to take this music from him. If Future put this album out, oh, baby, fuego. Dudes will be on it. They be quoting it. But it's the fact that it's Drake. I feel like a lot of dudes is going to be like, they feel it, but it's still Drake. And they're not going to, you know what I mean? Like,
or maybe this is the kind of music Drake's been wanting to do the whole time. He has done like 2 albums with Future, hasn't he?
That's what I'm saying. If Future put this album out, niggas will be eating it up. If Future put out Tried Our Best, they would be eating it up.
I just don't get the angle. And the other thing that really bothers me,
he's trying to appeal to bitter niggas because niggas is bitter out here, bro.
Bitter niggas don't stream the music.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. If Future put this album out, they would.
Well, but
it's because it's coming from Drake that I feel like they won't.
But women stream that music too, though. Like, it's funny that we always complain about the misogyny in music, but the women are the ones that consume the music the most. The thing that I think the thing that bothers me the most, though, about this is as much as Drake hangs his hat on being a competitor, I see you being more passive aggressive towards women than you are against the men that have said something about you. Mm-hmm. You still haven't addressed Kendrick.
He said something about Pusha T. It was, and people like, no, that's too fast. Like the whole line about the first class and all of that.
Well, because there's a tweet from Pusha T saying that he bought a ticket. Yeah, but again, passive aggressive. Rap towards Kendrick. I love you had J. Cole on the record, but J. Cole ate you up on that record. So it's like, if you're going to be competitive, be competitive. Like, it's kind of like with Eminem. Like, when Eminem dissed Mariah Carey and Britney Spears, it was like, bro, you're above that. Like, there are people that actually are rapping against you, and you refuse to respond to them, but yet you are going after pop stars.
Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, it's like, so with Drake, is like, bro, what did, like, Rihanna did what? Like, you guys dated, that was back, like, over 10 years ago.
That was the Loud album, damn near, I want to say. That was hell long ago.
Over 10 years ago. Has this been in the cut? Have you been wanting to say this? Like, are you, like, watching her story? Like, bro, like.
Or is it just giving shock factor? Like, I mean, I know this, like I said, I know that's the climate right now, but again, it doesn't appeal to your audience.
But how do you have that energy for her, but you don't have the energy for the niggas, though? That's my thing. and you talking about for my dogs, I'm a real nigga and all this other stuff. And I'm tired of hearing 21 Savage on his albums. Can he stop?
I said that the last album. I said I don't like 21 Savage. Like I literally was skipping.
Can somebody tell me what y'all get in 21 Savage?
I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't hear it. I don't get it. He don't move the needle for me.
No. That slow ass rapping.
21.
I can't.
Maybe I'm too old. Maybe that's what it is.
You know, I be trying. We've been talking about being 35 of this whole episode, and I'm like, maybe I ain't the type. And I've always said Drake make his music for me, and I felt like that these last couple albums, but this one, this is for the bitter niggas,
and
with the baby mama that they don't want, that they hate, that they made their baby mama. That's who this album is for. All the bitter dudes that be writing all the think pieces about women, go listen to this album. I'm sure you gonna find yourself in it.
Well, maybe he'll have some reflection, because I guess he's taking a break to deal with his health, because I guess he's having some issues with his stomach or something, he said.
I don't know.
He's having some type of health issues, but I don't get it. Drake could honestly be like, if he really wanted to, Drake could honestly never rap again and just do R&B. And Drake could honestly be like, I mean, I think he said I'm the light skin, keep sweat. I mean, he could technically be the incense, light a candle, put him on. Older women, younger women, middle women will all play him.
You know what? The thing that's crazy, like the thing that I was thinking about as I was listening to this album, like it got some bops. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, okay, this is cool. I like the vibe. To me, it's like more of a like chill vibe that I'll put on like while I'm like cooking and shit. But a lot of people were saying like, why are all of the ratchet female rappers popping off? They're the only ones making like party music. The ladies, the Cardis, the Sexy Reds, they're the only ones making like party music. All the dudes are making this woe is me, basically R&B, hip hop, ride wave, I'm so sad music.
Well, that's why I like the Diddy album. That's why I like the Diddy album so much.
I still ain't went back and listened to
what? The Diddy album was a bop, man.
I gotta give it another chance.
It was a bop.
I gotta listen to it again. But again, like I said, the male rappers they're just not doing it. And the ladies is giving us music that you can dance to, that you know what I'm saying, upbeat music. All the dudes is giving us these think piece songs, basically.
Well, I mean, but then you gotta ask it's not like how it used to be. Like, who's active? Kendrick's not active. Drake just dropped. Cole is more conscious. So, I mean, who would you consider to be, like, active, I guess? And again,
they're not doing it.
And I'm
whether
older.
because they active or not, they're not doing it.
And again, I'm older, so maybe I'm just out the loop. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being out the loop. Maybe I'm just out the loop.
I feel like women is carrying, what they say, women is carrying hip hop, but I feel like they carrying everything. You got Beyonce out here making legendary albums, legendary tours, and the niggas is just out here bitter. Airing out women, complaining about women. Like, come on now, y'all got to do better than this.
Well, we can't say niggas. Let's just say Drake. It ain't, who else outside of Drake?
Artist wise, I can't say, but just in general.
That's what I'm saying. Let's just stick to that, because we can't be generalized and say, oh, all the niggas. No, it's Drake. It's the nigga Drake. Drake been the one doing it.
Well, y'all ain't putting out no party music.
I just told you, the Diddy album.
That's party music? Oh, okay. I don't consider R&B that, but
no. You got to listen to it. It's R&B-ish, but it's also like 90s R&B, like it's dance music.
Okay.
At the beginning of it, it's kind of more dance, and then he has because he has an A side and a B side. So there is slower R&B contemporary, but there are the upbeat one, like the song that he had with Bryson Tiller in the summer. Yeah, that was more. It's R&B, but it was more upbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you gotta give him a chance.
Fellas, do better, please.
Drake, do better.
Yeah.
God, man. For my dogs, man. I'm thinking, why are you dissing Rihanna? Okay, here's a question. Is Rihanna going to respond?
I thought she did.
No. I think
She didn't?
that was an old tweet.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I don't know.
And I mean on the music side.
No, she ain't even putting out music.
But she should.
I highly doubt that Drake this is gonna bring her out the abyss. She ain't dropped an album since 2016.
No. I don't think Rihanna's on nobody's time. I'm just saying, will she respond? I think she should. I think she should.
I don't think she should.
Do you think ASAP is going to respond?
Possibly. Do he do music still? I don't even know if he do music. All I know is y'all got 2 kids. Y'all living y'all life. Billionaire. I just don't see it. I don't think Drake is worth a response to me.
There's a bag behind it.
She got a bag already.
I'm talking about we're talking about ASAP.
You got a bag. You with Rihanna.
You can't go get a second bag?
I don't know. I don't think it's necessary, to be honest.
Look, as a man.
Oh, here we go with that. Every time I hear as a man,
listen,
I throw up a little bit in my mouth.
Why is that?
We so tired of hearing that.
Why not?
Because we don't care about y'all ego. As a man. Oh, go ahead.
The same ego that y'all say that y'all don't stand is the same ego that causes us to protect y'all. So what you talking about?
Go ahead. As a man would.
As a man, you just want to respond. Especially when somebody's talking about your woman. That's not honorable. You was talking about you had to try to keep your husband out the comments.
I mean, and you see he wasn't up in there.
Okay then. But because you told him not to.
No, because it's not necessary. Like, I just feel like it looks
But what
bootsy.
I'm saying okay, but I'm not talking about what it looks like. I'm talking about the intent. You would want a man that wants to defend you.
Of course. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know. I feel like you give people more power to me when you respond.
Sometimes.
Personally. Like, I don't know.
Sometimes.
I feel like a response would be beneath them, but at the end of the day, I get it if they do, and I'll be here for it right there, kikiing, if they do. But if they don't, like, you got a whole ass family.
I think from what the public has already displayed, it already made him look beneath Drake already. Nobody like.
You mean Drake look beneath them?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, well, no, not even beneath them, but beneath him.
Oh, okay.
I think people expected more. Like, that just came out of like so far left field that it made him look small.
Yeah, because it's like I could see if like she was taking shots at you or something. Like for what? What happened?
Or if it was recent, like if it's something that happened recently, then we're like, okay, I can see why you did that. But it's like, where did this come from?
Mm-hmm.
And why are you thinking about her?
Yeah, but you sitting up here in the song saying that people are making it seem like you still hung up on her. You making it seem like that. You the one talking about it. Like,
yeah, somebody was like, somebody said you making Chris Brown look good. Like, Chris Brown ain't even worried about Rihanna, and you still on Rihanna. I'm like,
and the cold part about it is before she got back with ASAP, she was back with Chris Brown.
Was she?
Yes. She was back with Chris Brown.
Oh, that's new news to me.
And then that's when she ended up going with ASAP, and they did that anti-tour. So I'm like, if anybody who should have been felt slighted, it would have been Chris Brown. Like,
yeah, that's new news. I didn't know that they were back a thing.
They was.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Remember they was at that basketball game together? And
I remember
all of
her being seen with Drake because I know they have matching like shark tattoos or something.
She was getting seen with Chris Brown.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, Drake, that's man. Yeah, we don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like that
he
shit.
looked goofy, and he already made himself look
I don't
goofy,
like
so
that
I don't
shit.
feel like it's necessary to respond to somebody that already look goofy. But
yeah, I agree. I think I would agree with that. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think a response is necessary. I don't think anybody that he dissed on the album is going to respond again because it made him look bad.
I don't even think Pusha T gonna respond.
There's nothing to respond to. Again, you know, when you lose a battle, why would I respond to somebody that I've already beat? So it's like, bro, you're still like jabbing. Like, I thought he said, "Oh, I'm over it because somebody's gonna get hurt," and he tried to make this whole thing about, "Oh yeah, I'm the bigger person," but you're clearly not.
You the petty king.
You're clearly not. Very immature. I don't know, man. Drake is definitely showing who he is. I mean, I don't know. For somebody to be on top, he's very insecure. And it's funny because, and see, this is what I don't like people got to go back, like now, hindsight is 2020. Everybody was like, well, Joe Budden just hating on Drake, whatever. That was one of the critiques that Joe had. He said he's very insecure. And it's true. He is very insecure. And it just shows you no matter how much success that you may come across, you still got to deal with you.
Somebody said Drake is the dude that couldn't get no girls, and now he don't know how to act.
Yeah, but he's had like 10 or 15 years of that. You would think at some point you would get used to.
They never get over it.
Well, some don't. Some do.
They never get over
It's
it.
like, act like you've been there before.
And
dog.
they still, like I said, they still take that past hurt out on the women that they date.
Well,
and a lot of dudes, I'm gonna keep it 100. A lot of dudes, once they get to a place where maybe they are attractive now, or maybe they are attracting a different women now,
or have money,
a lot of times their main goal, a lot of the times, is
a revenge,
to humble them.
Yeah,
like now I could get the pretty. Now I'm gonna get you so that I can humble you.
Well,
it happens a lot.
It's a revenge, just to show everybody. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that, and obviously in his case, maybe that's the point. You know, they humbled me, so now I'm gonna humble you. But
sad case.
Drizzy,
that's still my boy. Y'all know I got a special place in my heart.
That's still your boy. After all that.
Yeah, at the end, this is the thing. Like,
I
could still like somebody's music and admit who they are. Like, I don't get that.
I thought, okay, we gonna have that conversation.
So I'm supposed to stop listening to nothing was the same.
I didn't say nothing. I said we'll have that conversation one day, Mr. Misogyny. All right, what's the next? What we doing?
Relationship goals. I don't understand. What's the issue?
The issue is that you be over here fighting, talk about men hating women and misogyny and all this other stuff, but then you be over here and be the same. You be championing king misogyny. That's all I'm saying.
How am I championing? I just dragged him for filth, but I'm championing because I'm still listening to the music.
And that's still my
because if
boy.
that's the case, why would I stop listening? I would have to stop listening to hip hop altogether. So that's what you're saying I should do.
No.
Exactly.
I said championing, meaning you said that's still my boy though. So okay, that's fine.
That's still my boy because of the history that I have of Drake's music.
Relationship advice. Yeah, that is littered with misogyny. Okay.
Oh
Relationship
my God.
advice.
You are so extra.
Relationship advice.
I can't. I literally can't. Actually, I take that back. Drake is canceled.
No, he's not.
I mean, that's what I gotta say. Drake's canceled.
No, you ain't gotta say nothing.
Drake is canceled.
He ain't canceled.
I ain't listening to his music
No, they ain't.
I'm deleting it tonight.
You ain't deleting nothing.
Because he is a misogynist.
You ain't gonna delete nothing. Relationship advice. He's still in the playlist.
No, he deleted. I'm deleting that album today.
You ain't deleting it. So is it a flop? So is it a bop or a flop?
It's still a bop. I like the album.
Okay.
You didn't like it. I liked it. That's cool.
Yeah. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm just asking a question.
I liked it personally. Do I really like the content as much? No.
You like the production.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a good album. I'm like, even like, I felt bad because even like the song he did big, I'm like, dang, I like this song. And it's trifling.
But I think we gotta like, as far as music, we gotta do a little bit better. I know most time it's like, oh, I like the song, but really you're saying you like the production. But there's more to the song than just the production.
I could say
I like R. Kelly's production.
Don't even go there because you already seen that tweet that's floating around talking about if R. Kelly got out today and had a concert, I'm getting my ticket off top. I've seen a lot of.
But I have to. I mean,
that.
but I have to go there. If I don't like, I can like the production, but then if the content, I don't know. It's kind of like the content is like the heart of the song. Like whatever you talking about on the song, if I'm not agreeing with it, I can't. I think you can separate it. I like the production, but I don't like the song. But I think a lot of times when we say we like the song, especially nowadays, because most songs like 2-3 minutes, and we don't get a chance to really like listen.
No,
I know you do.
Thing. Even on that song, that was one line out of the whole song. So I can't say that the rest of the lyrics is whack. Like, I can say that there's some good goddamn rapping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's some good verses. I'm not gonna say like all the other verses was whack.
I understand.
I don't like. I didn't like the damn line about the American slaves. I didn't like that, but the song was good.
I got it. But I'm saying is, you were saying the overarching theme of the album was him being bitter, him being misogynistic, him dissing women, him being vengeful. So that's what I'm saying. I get you like the production, but then you're saying that, but you like the album, meaning that you like the content of the album as well. So you liked all of that other stuff that was in that content? Or did you just like the flow? You like the song? Because you can like an album sonically, but you can say, well, but I wasn't really rocking with the content.
I just wish it was more variety in the content.
Okay, there you go. I think that's fair. I think most people would agree with that.
I would, yeah. There should have been more variety.
More
like,
variety.
bro, come
but
on
sonically,
now.
it was a good album. Mainly because of 40 and all the production. Okay,
40 gonna do his thing every time.
Relationship goals. Relationship advice.
I say, 'cause it ain't.
And Drake, man, I don't know if your team or whatever, you got to give people that credit, man. You got to give people that credit for their stuff, man. That's not cool.
And you can't be a constant, you know.
If it happened once, all right, we let you slide. But 2 times with the same artist,
especially with the same artist, that's the part right there.
Yeah, I'm not.
better.
I'm not feeling that. As a content creator, I'm not feeling that.
All right. Relationship advice. Let's get into it today.
Oh, boy.
Man, this is becoming my favorite segment.
This is, I think, everybody's favorite segment, relationship advice.
Today's relationship advice is, my friend told me he's attracted to me, and now my boyfriend wants me to block him. Let's get into it.
All right.
So a few days ago, one of my friends told me he's attracted to me. He said he didn't want it to ruin the friendship, and I told him that's okay, and it hasn't ruined anything. Later that same day, I told my partner about the conversation I had with my friend. He told me that I had to stop talking to my friend and block him. I protested, saying that nothing was ever going to happen, and questioned why I would have told him about my friend, what my friend said, if I was planning to cheat with him. He got really annoyed, and that was the end of the conversation. I brought it up again today, and he reiterated that it made him uncomfortable for me to be friends with him, regardless of whether I would ever cheat on him. I asked why, and he responded, because you're mine. I don't understand what the big deal is and whether I'm being a huge ass. I love my friend. I really do. He's a great friend, but I don't see him that way at all, or whether my boyfriend is overreacting, being insecure. Should I block my friend, or should I go against my boyfriend's wishes and explain that my friend is too good of a friend to lose and that nothing will ever happen? Is my boyfriend being controlling, or am I overreacting? Where do I go from here if my boyfriend doesn't trust me enough to have a friendship like this? And there was an edit that said the boyfriend has cheated in the past. He had been messaging multiple women about meeting up and never actually met up with them. So that was an edit that was added for context.
Oh, she okay. All right. she added that so people could side with her.
Oh, you sure?
She added that so people could side
she
with
could
her.
have, but
Why would
sometimes
you
that
add
is true though.
What does that got to do with that has nothing to do with your situation.
No, I think that it does, because sometimes men will feel a way about friendships because of how they've moved in the past. But
that had nothing to do. I understand what you're saying. Like, I don't want you doing what I've been doing. I get that. But the bottom line is, whether that's there or not, the situation at hand is your friend is attracted to you, and you told your partner, and he ain't comfortable with it. That's the scenario. That edit, that ain't got nothing to do with the scenario.
So do you feel like if a friend
you know what
admitted,
it is? You know what it is too? She feels like because she forgave him that he should be lenient with her. Like, I should be trusting of you. I let you cheat, or I trust you that you're not going to cheat no more. So in my situation, why you cannot trust me in this situation?
And you know what? I've honestly seen some people where they'll be like, they won't be comfortable with something. Like, oh, they do going on a certain vacation or something. They be like, but I'm going to let him go because when I want to go, I don't want to hear nothing. Like, what? That don't even make no sense. That's crazy.
Then people got to realize just because you're okay with it doesn't mean the other person is okay with it, and vice versa.
So if a friend admits to being attracted to you and you are in a relationship, that friendship should end.
It depends. This situation, their boyfriend or girlfriend. I think that's different. It doesn't say they're serious. I don't know how long they've been dating. Not unless it said it in there.
What would be different? What would make it different?
If you're in a committed long-term relationship, that you're engaged or engaged to be married or married, I think that's different. If you're dating somebody where you can be gone tomorrow,
I ain't giving up a friend.
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't know.
I think it can be different. I think
because this is my thing. Admitting it, like, what was your intent in admitting that? For what?
Being honest.
Because at the end of not her admitting it to the boyfriend. I'm talking about the friend admitting to you that they're attracted. What was the point in saying that? Like, to me, it's giving testing the waters.
It is.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like right there.
It is.
I personally, even as the friend, would be like, bruh, like, even if you were like, nobody's blind. You know when somebody's attractive.
And she knew that.
And being attracted to somebody, to me, ain't got no merit to it until it's spoken out loud, because there's some intent behind that to me personally.
But there's been intent the whole time. And that's why he's not cool with it, because he's like, so what is the basis of your friendship?
You know I'm in a relationship. To me, that's disrespectful.
You still could have a friendship. See, but to me, like, as a man, and this is this other side of it. As a man, if you have a friend, is that a friend that you go to for advice? Is that a friend that you go to for wisdom? Like, when you're having issues with our relationship, do you go ask him? And then what is he telling you? You know what I'm saying? Because if he's attracted to you, which that's why some men be like, I don't want you having no male friends. You gonna be like, oh, you shouldn't be having to take that from him. And why would you still be with him? With the intent of, I want y'all to break up because I'm next. I'm waiting in the wing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he's saying that. But
it might just be some fear and jealousy because you cheated before and you think I'm gonna do the same thing.
Men don't want to lose their woman. That's what it is. No matter what they've done, they don't want to lose their woman. So I know what I'm saying is probably a cop-out answer, but it really does depend on their relationship. If you are in a committed relationship, then no, you got to do whatever you do to protect your relationship. If you're dating and it's kind of like we're just boyfriend or girlfriend and it's not serious, no.
Yeah.
No. Because then where does this, and I'm not saying that it won't stop there, but you're setting a precedent that whenever you don't like something, I'm going to have to cut these people off. And then what ends up happening when we break up? Then I'm going to have to go back and then repair all of these relationships. But I do feel like if you are invested and if it is something worth setting boundaries for, that you should. If you see yourself with this person, then I don't like that whole like, oh, well, he's been here longer than you. And so what? I am your fiance. I'm your husband. Like, I should be priority. And if I don't feel comfortable, you should be easy to say, like, look, you've stepped the bound, like you've crossed the boundary.
Yeah, crossing the boundary is a thing to me. Having friends of the opposite sex, I know there's some people that aren't okay with their spouse having, or boyfriend, girlfriend committed, having a friend of the opposite sex at all, whether boundaries being crossed anyway. So to me, I just feel like that's going a little bit extreme to me.
Well, he crossed the boundary, and to me, that shows a lack of respect for her relationship.
Yeah. And that's my biggest thing of friendships of the opposite sex. Like, as long as they respect the relationship, then I don't feel like there should be no issue of having friends from the opposite sex.
No.
Like, I know for some people it's triggering. If you've been cheated on, that's going to be hard for you to be able to accept somebody having a friend from the opposite sex, or if you've had like situations where it's like, oh, that's my friend.
Or my cousin.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, at that point, then it's going to be harder for you to trust that.
Why is it always a cousin?
Like, why would you even say? Because I feel like, again, with a cousin, you're not really gonna be suspicious. With a friend, the girl's still gonna be suspicious.
And a cousin, you can't really check. It's kind of like loose ended.
And because come on now, like I seen a post that said if our mamas is best friends and been best friends since high school, they kids is my cousins. Mm-hmm. So it's like it ain't. That's what people like blood cousin. But even then, that don't matter with black people.
So are you of the vein to think that you can have friends of this opposite sex when you're in a committed relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I am too.
I was gonna say, why you don't give me that smirk?
No. I said I am too.
Okay.
But I've seen people say that you cannot have a platonic friend of the opposite sex. I've seen people say that.
I have to. I ain't gonna lie. I've seen it. I don't personally agree.
And I personally disagree because I personally have platonic friends of the opposite sex.
We friends.
And never, yeah, we are. And all of my other friends that are of the opposite sex have had no inappropriate conversations. Have had nothing like, I'm attracted to you or I always thought you were cute back in the day. Nothing.
Because that shouldn't even,
Nothing.
That's doing too much. Even like, you know what I'm saying? Like even with my, friends of the opposite sex, like I be having to be mindful because like you be up, you doing like, and I'll text stuff. I'm like, dang, it's 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have respect.
Have some type of boundary.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'd be like, oh shoot, I ain't even peep what time it was. Some people don't care about none of that.
No,
I feel like some people will even try to like press the line and try to push that. Like you know damn well you shouldn't be texting this person at 1 o'clock in the damn morning.
Well, and I think too, if you are in those kind of situations, people know. Like, and like when you start getting weird questions like, oh, well, how are you guys doing? Like, how's the relationship going? Mm-hmm. You can tell when there's a friendly, like, how are you guys doing? Like, I genuinely care. And like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, are you guys good? Because I'm trying to see if there's a, partner of the Red Sea. Can I fit in a little bit here? You can tell. And I think when you don't check those little micro questions and microaggressions, that's when you get in problems. Mm-hmm. And I think again in that situation for sure with and it's not just men, you become insecure when you've done the very thing that you're accusing the other person of doing because you thinking, well, if I could do it, they probably doing it. So them cheating situations, I'm sure they started off as friends and then it developed.
They found their way in. They used that as the end.
Well, and like the whole side, like we have to like stop glamorizing the side. I think we've had this conversation before. We have to stop glamorizing the side chick and side dude, spots. It's the easiest position to play. Because half the time you getting all the info on what's going wrong, and all you got to do is do what the other person ain't doing, and then you got it. So like some of these people get bold where they like, oh, well, I took your man, or I took your girl, or I'm doing things that she ain't doing. Because, you got the blueprint. And you getting somebody when they're most vulnerable, when they're on the verge of a divorce, when they're going through a hard time in their marriage, when there's intimacy is lacking. That is easy to do.
And you got to be careful, too. A lot of times, like, people will use these friendships to get, not validation, but get, like...
vindication?
Yeah. Not even vindication. More so, like, attention that they might not... You know what I'm saying? Like... It's almost kind of like oh my, what's the Aisha Curry when she was talking about she still want to get hollered at the gas station. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's like you got to be careful with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes people will use like you'll know somebody's attracted to you or kind of like you or whatever, and you just kind of play into it for that.
Trying to pump up your self-esteem.
You know what I mean? Or your ego.
Yeah, or your ego.
You know, so it's like you can't be doing that either. That's why even with all these, work husbands and work wife and all that, I'm like, don't tread in them waters.
No, because you might end up in a situation where you can't get out.
Like, don't do that.
It's, this is the older crowd. Some of y'all be flirting without no intention of doing nothing.
Oh yeah.
But then you gonna end up flirting with the wrong person.
Be flirting with no intention to link, do nothing.
Y'all gonna be end up flirting with the wrong person. I just seen too many Lifetime movies.
Man.
But dude end up stalking or showing up at the job or coming up to the house and telling the husband, look, that me and her been talking for such and such. don't be playing. Because you playing with people's emotions.
Yeah, no, I'm cool.
Yeah, no, I don't even treading in them waters.
Don't do it.
But some people be, because it's entertainment. It's something to, it's something to, like I said, to kind of boost your ego a little bit.
Even when, like, I remember when I was, like, single, like, I got to a place where I had to, like, delete all the numbers of the dudes that I was talking to because it's like, you knew it wasn't going nowhere, but it was cool to just have somebody to talk to or somebody hitting you up or whatever. It's like, delete. It's something new. Drake said it. Let me not quote Drake.
Go ahead.
But Drake said it is something to do when there's nothing to do. Like,
there you go.
You can't do that.
And some of y'all during the pandemic, y'all was starting some inappropriate conversations and inappropriate relationships that y'all still entertaining to this day. I remember being single. Flirting was just a thing to do.
It was fun.
And I had no intention of meeting up, had no intention of dating, but you over here making plans and talking about had no intention. And at the end of the day, really, even though it seems harmless, you are playing with people's emotions. And when it comes to friendships, if you are keeping people close to you that are saying they are attracted to you in a committed relationship, I think you are playing with fire. Mm-hmm. Because then now the boyfriend knows this. So whenever you have a get together or whatever, are you going to invite the friend?
Yeah, but this is my thing. Maybe she told him to try to get under his skin.
To get back at him? Mm-hmm. To say, well, since you cheated, I got people that are attracted to me too?
It might have been.
All it's going to do is that's going to backfire because people I don't know the dude, but I've seen situations where you try to threaten somebody and all it is it pushes them to get somebody else on the side. Oh, well, you can have friends? Okay, well, we could doing friends? Okay.
Tit for tat.
I can get a friend too.
Tit for tat.
And then you ain't going to like the friend that he get because then it's like, well, you said we can still have friends, right? I've seen that. I've seen the tit for tat. When one person got an attractive friend, oh, well, he just a friend. Okay, bet. All right.
Terrible.
You gonna find a Drake, and Drake ain't never gonna let that go.
Petty King. Petty King.
So yeah, that's a tough one. But I would say generally, you should cut that off. But if it's just a casual dating situation, no, I wouldn't cut it off.
Yeah, I agree. Platonic friends is a thing, and I do believe that people can be platonic friends, but sometimes when boundaries are crossed.
Okay, hold on. So let me ask this question. Should you cut off a friend if you are attracted to that friend, or if you know the other friend is attracted to you without them actually verbalizing it? Like, for instance, let's say they were into you in the past.
No, because I have some friendships like that. Okay.
What if you're attracted to them?
I don't know. A bit. I don't know. Like, because when you say attracted to,
you find them
attractive. Me, that's giving some type of like want in it. Finding somebody attractive and being attracted to them, like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, to be attracted to somebody, there's something that's kind of like pulling you in, but you could be attractive, and that does not mean
well, I would call that like maybe lusting after them.
Yeah,
I'm not saying lusting.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what attracted to is giving me.
Attractive means to me like you find them attractive, and let's say if you were not in a relationship, that would be somebody that you may be interested in dating.
No, that's different. Interested in dating, that's a different
Well,
level.
I'm saying like what I mean is like if you saw them walking down the street, you would say like, oh, that's somebody I can see myself dating. Not saying like.
But to me, like, once you my friend.
So when you're saying when you become friends with somebody, that eliminates all attraction?
I didn't say it eliminates like attraction. Like, you can still be attractive, but that's my friend. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think like if I've ever been friends with somebody and then went back and then dated them later.
Don't they always say that you always have the best relationship with your friends? That you be friends first?
Yeah. But I'm just saying I ain't had that.
You ain't never had it.
I'm trying to like think. I don't want nobody to pop out the woodworks like, remember that one time? Like, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever had somebody like
That's a tough
where
question.
like I've had like where at the beginning like it was kind of like and then it was like nah, they ain't gonna go nowhere as far as like compatibility, because again, being attracted to somebody
Is not the same.
does not equate to compatibility. So like when that happened, then it's just kind of like, oh, but he cool though, so we're friends now. I've had that before, like, and even if like I have any male friends that I dated before or anything like that, he know. You feel what I'm saying? And even though the friendship ain't like, we ain't like kicking it all the time or nothing like that, but like we're cool, we're cordial. We probably gonna see this person while we out. I feel like you have to tell your partner that though. Like you can't just be like, oh, this my friend, and don't tell what the original origin was. You can't do that. But I do believe that you cannot be compatible with somebody and not see them in that light, but still feel they're attractive.
But okay.
So you're saying if you're attracted to somebody or ever was attracted to them in a romantic way and it didn't go nowhere, that you can't be friends with them?
No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just asking a question.
Okay, I'm just wondering because I feel like you could be friends and be attracted. Find somebody attractive.
I think this would be a good clip. I think it's a good question.
I would venture to, because I feel like people automatically assume if you're attracted to somebody that if you had the opportunity, you're gonna take it.
I think that's where self-control and integrity and character come into play. I think you can have attractive friends.
Absolutely.
And not cross the line.
You cannot tell people like you can have friends, but they got to be ugly. That just defeats the whole purpose of saying that you trust somebody.
You would be surprised.
What?
You would be surprised. There's some people who do say that.
That's crazy.
Especially if they're of the opposite sex.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if we post this, I guarantee you there'll be some people in the comments that will say that. I guarantee you. Because, again, there's some people who think you shouldn't have friends of the opposite sex at all.
Yeah, so you're right. Yeah, you're right.
No matter what they look like. So if you for sure got an attractive friend of the opposite sex, there's some people that are you know, and I hate using the word insecure because it's always a negative connotation. But that's really the word for it. There are some people that are so insecure that they are not able to be okay with you having a friend of the opposite sex.
I feel like friend of the opposite sex, I could take. The one thing that I necessarily wasn't like with at first was friends with exes. That's the one for me that was like a soft spot for me, because I'm like, as females, what you got to realize is I ain't never had an ex that didn't want that old thing back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, I never trusted it because I'm like, I could talk to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the time, I'm like, I could go back and talk to an ex right now. So I'm like, why am I supposed to believe that at the same, you know what I mean, situation? So
yeah, I kind of have different thoughts on that, depending on the situation.
Oh, I have different thoughts about it now that I've grown up.
Yeah.
But at the time, I'm like,
but as a man though, I know how men operate, and I typically am not cool with my girl being friends with her exes, which maybe it's a little bit hypocritical. But I know me though. And I know if I'm friends with exes, it's not because I want them back. It's because we've just had a bond over the years and we can just be friends. But I know how other men think. And typically, I don't know why it is.
Wait, so you feel like you can be friends with your ex, but she can't?
No. I'm talking about on the other spectrum, on the man side.
Oh.
Not her. I trust her.
Oh.
I'm talking about on the man side, though. I know how most of them.
So you're saying you don't trust the men?
Yes.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that, but.
And again, that may be hypocritical, but I mean, it's just the truth. I know how most men operate, and I know in such there's like this rush, I guess, when men feel like they take a woman, or they feel like that they're able to get something that's unobtainable, because it's kind of like that hunter gatherer feeling, like, oh, it's almost like it's almost like a trophy. I was able to do something like, and again, it's like an ego booster. So I just know.
You know what's crazy though is they'll look at it like that. They'll be all into trying to get somebody else's girl and then get her and then be like, she trifling.
Yeah.
And be like, man, these females is trifling. Like, but you literally went out of your way to try to pursue this girl, and then you get her and be like, yeah, because you know, I was messing with somebody's wife, and use it as a story to talk about how trifling you too. Right with her.
Well, for them, it's like, I'm not the one that's married. So why would you break your whatever? But at the same time, but it is still trifling for you to try to get a married one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I totally agree with you.
You look down on her, but not yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, gotta love it.
Young and dumb.
Young and dumb. I'm glad we've grown up because I mean,
well, some people have, some people haven't.
Well, yeah.
There's still grown people up in.
I think what's the age that we reach? I gotta look it up, but it definitely at 35 because there's a lot of immature ass people out here.
That's a personal journey.
And most of the people that's around me are older than me because I graduated early. So I'm like, y'all 36, 37. Come on now.
Got to get it together.
Please.
Got to get it together. All right. That was a good relationship advice. Yeah, we're going to get it on the play.
I'm very interested to see the comments. We see how the comments went
I
last
already
week.
know people going to be like, no friends of the opposite sex. But then be the quick to be calling other people insecure. But it is what it is. All right, y'all. We going to close out, man. It is, out here it's late for us, man. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So
2-hour episode. Hope y'all enjoy. Y'all get y'all drive on to work.
Get your drive on. Get your work on. Don't be having your boss looking over your shoulder asking you why you on Apple Podcast or YouTube.
Spotify.
But we appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for supporting us, man. We see y'all out 64. We'll see y'all in episode 64. Excuse me.
We out.